This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through your 2021 Forest River Salem Cruise Lite, model 24RLXL. Okay, I'm on the door side of the trailer here. And as you can see, you've got regular crank type stabilizers, but this has an added feature. It's the strong arm attachment that comes with this trailer. Usually that's an aftermarket, but this trailer ships with them. It's a good thing in the sense that it you can use it to take the forward and rearward shake out of it. So the way it works is you always want to have this loose when you're moving them up and down this T-handle here, okay? You use your regular crank or your drill attachment with a 3/4 inch socket, which comes with the trailer, and you put the jacks down. Then after it's in the down position, you'll tighten this T-handle up, right? So it takes that shake of front and rearward shake out of it. I'm trying to say rearward, but it just doesn't seem to want to come out. So the bottom line is when you're bringing it up and down, you want to have this loose, right? You only tighten it up when you've got it in position. Of course, you don't lift the trailer with these jacks. You just stabilize them, take the wiggle out of the trailer. So keep in mind, there's one of these on each corner, and you always want this loose until you get it in the position, and then you tighten it. Okay. Alrighty. Also, while we're standing here, your steps fold right into the trailer. They're very stable steps. Now, if you're on uneven terrain, you can pull this pin right here. There's one on each side. Just completely pull it out. You can adjust the length of the legs to the terrain, and make sure you got a good stable stance. So you've got a power awning with a LED strip. You have, let me move the door here. The outside of your water heater is right here. Okay. So this is a gas water heater. The switch to operate it is inside the trailer. I just need to show you that this is where it drains right here. It takes an 1/16" socket, a 6-point socket preferably, to remove this drain plug. It's also an anode rod, so it's really long. It's about 9 inches long, something like that, 10 inches. So keep in mind that it has a sacrificial rod attached to it, an anode rod, okay? This is where you vent it. Never vent it or pull the plug when you have hot water in it, of course, because it's going to come spraying out. So you always want to make sure it's cooled down before you do anything like that, or you could scald yourself or worse. So keep that in mind. Of course, I can't get this. There we go. Get my finger back out. Anyway, I'll do that in a second here. Okay, so this is while we're standing here, this is to fill your fresh water tank. 9 times out of 10, you're just going to use the city water hookup on the other side of the trailer. But if you go to a campground that does not have plumbing on the campsites, you can fill this and then pump the water out of the tank. So all the plumbing will work like you have city water, but you'll be carrying your own water with you. So it's a good thing to have. And some of the older state parks, for example, will have a full fill station when you first go in by the ranger station there, but they don't have plumbing on the campsite. So that's when you would use something like that. All right, this is your vent for your range hood. Keep in mind, if you're going to run the range hood vent fan, you want to reach up and free up this baffle here so it flaps freely. That's when you're venting. All other times you just keep it shut like that, okay? You got outside speakers. That's just a vent for your furnace. All right. This hookup is in case you wanted to add a solar battery charger or a solar panel to charge the battery. This is a Furrion brand, so that goes right to the battery. So that's just if you wanted to add a solar panel to charge the battery. While we're looking in the front passenger compartment, this first tool on the top is for the awning in case you get stuck with it in the L position. You'll have to read the directions as you do it to see how to operate. Also, you can look at the manufacturer's online video. That's a good thing to do also. The small one here is the drill attachment for your stabilizers, and the bottom crank is for your power tongue jack in case it fails. Let's say it fails for some reason or another, you can pull this cap off, put the crank right in there, and crank it manually if you have to. So you can always hitch and unhitch with it no matter what. All right. You have two LP tanks, of course. You've got a deep cycle marine battery here, and this red switch here with the red plastic key is a kill switch for the battery. So basically, if you were to turn it to the opposite position, it'll shut the battery off, so it doesn't drain. If you put it into storage for a period of time, you can shut the battery off and make sure it doesn't completely drain down. Okay. Alrighty. So this is these are your dump valves, of course. Let me look around a bit here. Okay. Now, I told you I showed you where you fill the city, or where they fill the fresh water, right? This is the city water connection here. This is the one you're normally going to use. You just put the hose on here, turn it on, and your whole trailer's water pressurized and ready to go. So as long as you have city water, you'll hook up there. This is a black tank flush. So how this works is, we'll get down here, and I think there's water in the tank, because we're just flood testing it to make sure it doesn't leak and it works correctly. So basically, this is the black tank valve here, and this is the gray tank valve here. The black tank, of course, is toilet water and waste. The gray tank is sink and shower water. Therefore, you're going to hook your dump hose onto here. The other end goes into the station. You always pull the black first, like so, right? You do that because it's dirtier water than the gray water. So you use the gray water second, and it helps to clean out the hose. So you just remember, you always dump the black first. But then, after you've dumped them, you keep the black tank valve open, and you can come up here and hook your hose to this flush here. And you turn it on, and basically it'll spray the inside of your black tank out, clean the centers off, that sort of thing, just generally clean it. But like it says on this sticker here, always make sure that valve is open before you turn the water on. Alright, that is your power cord. It's 30 feet long and 30 amp. Your slide out, just so you know, is the type that's referred to as a Schwinn-Tech. It's owned by Lippert now, but people still refer to it as a Schwinn-Tech. You can tell by the two tracks on each side of the slide room. Okay. All right. So this is cable and satellite through to the inside of the trailer. All right. This housing tells us this is pre-wired for a backup camera. So it takes a Furrion camera. So if you're going to get one, we sell them here. But no matter where you get it, make sure if you choose to get one, you'll get one that's made by Furrion and it fits right in that housing. All right. Also, while we're looking up, like all trailers, you have to go up every 90 days or 3 times a season. Okay. You go up, or have somebody go up on the roof and look at all the sealant. Make sure there's no cracking or separation anywhere. So you want to inspect your trailer regularly to make sure the sealant is good and tight. Everybody who owns a trailer is supposed to do that. Not everybody does it, but it's a very, very important thing to do. When it comes to maintenance, that's your most important thing, is making sure your roof is good and sealed good and tight. Okay? All right. So, I told you that, these are just lights here. I told you your water heater lights from the inside. You just go like this, turn it on. Now keep in mind, you always want to make sure there's water in the water heater tank before you turn it on. You can't run it dry. Okay? Also, I told you there's a pump. That's your water pump. That's used for pumping water out of the fresh water tank, or you'll also use it when you winterize. All right? You have a slide out switch and the power awning switch right here. See, it goes in and out. Keep in mind that this goes out 8 feet. You roll it out till you see the awning tube. Never leave it out unattended. If you're not going to be at the campsite, then you want to roll it in so it doesn't get damaged by the weather. To check your battery right there, it's charged. Fresh water needs to be empty still because we're water testing it. Black, we just dumped what little was in there in gray. So you see it goes up in 1/3 increments. It'll light up as it goes. So when you get past 2/3, you got to start thinking about dumping the black in the gray tank. All right. Okay, so let's look around here. You shut the music off here. Here comes the rooster. Okay. So this is a jackknife sofa. So you grab it here and pull it out in a jackknife slat. You can use it as a bed. This U-shaped dinette, you take the poles out of the table, set the tabletop on these ledge right here, and put the cushions in there, and you can use that as a bed also. So you got two different beds. to go with it. Your microwave works like any other microwave. This is the range hood vent that I spoke to you about. Remember I told you about the baffles on the outside, so keep in mind. Let me see why we don't have any power here or any lights. All the lights will have a button in the middle too to turn them on independently of the other ones. Okay, so right here. So let's see. Turn it on like that, but in order for it to vent properly, like I said, you have to open the baffle on the outside so it'll vent to the outside without being obstructed. Alright, so this is your range here. This you just spark to light it. So I assume he has gas on. Let's find out here. Yep. So you can see I just turned the sparker clockwise and it lit. You have 3 burners, 3 knobs of course. Then you have a oven of course. This one I believe you have to use a lighter on. I'm just looking, sparking to see it. Yes. So what you have to do, you have to have a grill lighter because it has a long neck. But you just go to the oven knob, you go to pilot, and you depress it. You hold it in. Then you'll light the pilot light down here with a grill lighter. When it lights, you're still holding this in. You hold it for another 10 seconds or so to heat it up. And then you go to operating temperature. So you go to your cooking temperature, and it cycles on and off like an oven does. So when you shut it off, obviously the flame in the oven goes out, but so does the pilot light. So you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven, okay? Alrighty. What else do we have here? Let me look around. Okay. Alright, so this device here is the power converter. What this does, it converts 110 AC, 110 volts AC to 12 volt DC. So, yeah, let me open it up here for you. So on this side you see you got regular household type circuit breakers. They're 110 AC just like at home, and they're labeled. Then on this side you have 12 volt fuses right here, and they're all labeled, right? So it takes the 110 AC coming in from the power cord, and it converts it to 12 volt DC, which is basically battery power, or same as what you would get from the battery. Also, speaking of batteries, this is also a battery tender. So as long as you're plugged in, this will sense how much energy your battery needs, and it'll keep it charged up all the time. So that's important. Also, there's some tinted plastic here, and if any of those fuses blow, they'll actually light up, and you can see them glowing through that plastic, so you'd know. All right. Also, this is your carbon monoxide and LP gas detector. If it goes off, obviously you take everybody outside, shut the gas off, and figure out what's going on. It should always be green like that. Okay. This is your fireplace. It comes with a remote. You can change the appearance of the fire. You can set different fan speeds, high, low, and off. You can set the temperature, and there's also a timer, so it's a really, really good space heater. Your radio, you can stream through a USB. Take a stick with all your favorite albums on it, for example, or you can stream wirelessly from your phone or tablet with Bluetooth. It has 2 speaker zones, 1 and 2. 1 is inside the trailer, 2 is outside the trailer. So it does a lot. Okay. What they're telling you here about King Jack pre-wired for Wi-Fi, you can go to kingconnect.com or else talk to our parts people. This is pre-wired for Wi-Fi, a Wi-Fi booster plus a router. So there's also another port on the roof where the antenna would go, and you can go online to that website and they'll show you the different packages. If you're interested in it, always get the package with the antenna on the roof. That's important. Don't just get the router, get the complete package. Okay, that's that green light is telling us that that's the signal booster for the digital antenna. So you can shut it on and off, but when you're using a TV, you always want it on like that. Okay. All right, this is your thermostat. It's very simple. You just hit the mode button to light it up. Right now we're in cool auto, but you can just go from heat, off, to fan. The fan is the air conditioner running without the compressor. Then go to cool. Always run it on auto, no matter what it is. If you can run it on auto, you do that. Okay. And also keep in mind there's a lag time. It's always going to lag for about 5 or 6 seconds before anything turns on or turns off. That's normal. All right. So the toilet. One thing you have to remember that you can't use it dry. So when you You get to the campground, you hook up your water and power. Your black tank is empty, right? So you're gonna put your chemical right in the bowl, whichever brand you use, 1 dose. Then you're gonna step on the flush pedal, which is down here. It'll flush the chemical right into the tank, and water will keep coming out as long as you stand on that pedal. So you just put about a gallon or so of water in the black tank right below here. That's your black tank. Whoops, let me show you. That's the black tank right down there. So you just want to stand on the pedal long enough to put about a gallon or so in there. There's no way to tell what a gallon is exactly, but it doesn't have to be. The bottom line is you want water and some chemical in there when you start using it. Otherwise, trust me, you'll regret it. The smell will be pretty bad, and it's something you'll only do once anyway. You also have a vent here with a fan. When you run your shower, you always want to use the exhaust fan because you want to pull that humidity outside of the trailer. Alright, so you have storage underneath your bed. You have escape window here. You've got a nice sized closet here, which is unusual in a trailer. You never really get a full closet like this. It's great. There's TV hookup here, antenna out, and power to put a TV over here. Alright. Let me come back through and see what else. Your refrigerator is a 12-volt compressor refrigerator, so it runs when you're pulling it down the road. Your alternator charges the battery, and the battery runs the refrigerator. Right? When you're plugged in at the campsite, your power converter that I showed you will supply the 12 volts for the refrigerator. So it's gas absorption will run on LP gas also. This is just a compressor refrigerator, but people like them a lot better because you get like a quarter to a third deeper space in there, because normally if this was gas absorption it would only be about this deep. This part would be taken up by the cooling unit, so you get a lot more cubic feet with this refrigerator. Alrighty, so I think I've pretty much covered it. Let me look around and see if I've missed anything. I think we're good. Okay, well, thanks for buying your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Remember what I told you about inspecting the roof. That's very important. And just make sure you plan ahead, make reservations, and use it as much as you possibly can. That's the real key to being a happy trailer owner. So you got to use it a lot. So thank you very much.